Alright, what's up, guys? Today, this video is about addiction and how it can really lead to some crazy times in your life and some moments that'll break you, or at least try to break you, and just the cycle. So basically, let me just get into this. Growing up, I had a mom and a dad. My dad, he died at when I was 9 years old in 2006. Well, I was 10 because I was in the fifth grade. So he died when I was 10 in 2006, and he was murdered, but he was an addict. My mom, she died in 2017 because of her addiction, and basically growing up my whole life, it was back and forth to my grandma's house. You know, my mom's mom. She was she she was a great woman. My mom was, but just was addicted, and like many people that I'm sure you know and I know, you know, we all have someone, or a lot of us have someone that is addicted, and you know, sometimes people just don't snap out of it. So each year from in third grade, when I was 9 years old, yeah, I was 9 years old in third grade, and it was the beginning of third grade. We got raided, and I went to foster care for a day. My grandma, that's because my grandma and her husband was in Canada, and they were like, they'd go each year for taking pictures of wildlife and stuff like that. So that's why they were in Canada. So they got a call, and you know that DHS had snatched me up. House got raided. It was very normal for me to see a head in the lap growing up, just knotted out constantly. And don't get me wrong, you know, I wasn't like abused, molested, or, you know, nothing like that necessarily. But, and they had love for me, don't get me wrong. Uh, my mom and, it was my mom and my stepdad. She was with him basically my whole life. But my real dad was an addict. My stepdad was an addict. That was my mom's boyfriend. He's still in my life today, and doing a lot better. But yeah, so anyways, that's pretty much what went down. It'd be back and forth after that raid, and my grandma came and got me. I was only in foster care for like 2 days, and a day or two. Yeah, pretty much 2 full days. It's been a while. This is a long. I'm 29 now. This has been 20 years ago, but I do remember that black pickup or Escalade or whatever Tahoe pulling up, and I do. It was a chaotic scene, you know. The house was a mess. My mom's trying to stuff pills in her panties, just flipping out, crying. Like, it was all toxic and it was all bad. And this is because of addiction. And if you're wondering, their form of addiction, you know, what their poison they picked was opiates. So heroin, you know, Dilaudid, just nothing good. And you know, they were shooting it. So yeah, if only you can imagine, you know. But I'm not the only one that's going through this. That's why, or went through this, and it makes some strong people. Like I said in the beginning, it could really make you or break you. But and I've had my own past too, but and I'll get into that. But each year is back and forth to Newton. So after that raid, Newton is the town my grandma lives in. So after that raid, I'd live there for a year, and then I'd come back. Then she'd screw up again, go to jail. I'd go back to my grandma's. Then the next year, and that happened like 5 different times. And I remember she went to prison when I was 14. I was in ninth grade, and I chose to live at the neighbor's house across from us in my city that I lived in with my mom. Because my grandma, she lived in Newton. I live in Des Moines. It's a 30-minute drive. Des Moines is the capital of Iowa. So, and thank God that I had my grandma, but or else life could have been a lot worse. But basically, that back and forth was my whole life, and addiction was just something that caused that. And so, in ninth grade, she went to prison, and her husband, or my stepdad, her boyfriend, basically, he just fell low and was using still, and just basically let the house go, and so he was basically homeless in a way, just rough times. And I was living across the street at our neighbor's house, and it was basically a trap house with tweakers in it. And I mean, yeah, I've came a long ways since then, but and ultimately it took my mom's life. There was the fentanyl in the dope, and not to say that she shouldn't have been using in the first place, but you don't even know what's in that stuff. And I fell victim, and my whole life I didn't want to get high, or I didn't want to partake in it, and I was so against it. But my mom had a prescription of yellow bars. That's Xanax, and that's like the highest milligram you can get. It's like 2 milligrams, I think. I don't know. It doesn't matter. They're no good, but I was doing those. That's where it started. I was, popping those, and then I started, doing Dilaudid, and then doing heroin and meth and other drugs, and with my mom and my stepdad. Like, we had a way crazy different relationship than a lot of people have. My mom and I were really close, and the love was there. She just was always hooked ever since I was a little kid, and it cost her life. Me almost cost me my life the same night that she died. So I've seen the trauma, and I've been there, done that. I mean, it's no good, and it caused her old man. I keep wanting to say husband because they've been together my whole life, but basically it cost him. No, not basically. It did cost him 2 years in prison, and she died in 2017, and he went to prison in 2016. So he was locked up in that cage while she while his woman of 20 plus years died. And you know it was 2 weeks after I turned 21, so it was January 24th, 2017. She died. He was locked up, and then he had to do like 8 years parole, and he just got off of it very recently. um, we're all we got, man, for real. But that's kind of my story of addiction, and how it spiraled my life. And life goes so quick, it really does. And man, just thinking about it, it's crazy. It's something else. It truly is. But that's kind of what happened. House got raided when I was young, back and forth process, and then before you know it, I'm doing stuff that I said I was never gonna do with my folks. Like, it's crazy. Do I regret it? Yeah, I do regret some things, and but man, do we have a good relationship? And you know, and I was just doing it here and there. But when I was like 19 years old, especially 20 years old that last year, and I was doing it more. And A lot of times, you wouldn't even tell. I have no marks on me. You just can't really judge a book by its cover, but that's kind of my story. I'm going to wrap it up here. And that led, thank God I had a good grandma. My mom's mom she's a good woman. And, I obviously still speak to her to this day, and she's alive and doing okay. And that's really my only family. It goes quick, so don't blink or else you might miss it. You know, that's facts. But that's just my little story on addiction. A lot of people are addicted to different things, and it don't even have to be drugs like meth or heroin or coke. It could be addicted to porn, addicted to too much pop. Soda, addicted to gambling. We all have a poison that we pick, or if we don't have it, we often know of someone that has it, and even knowing someone that can affect your life. So hey, buddy. Got my cat buddy right here. Mm. He's sleeping. He's like, why'd you do that? But yeah, it could lead to a lot of roads, and if you let it, that demon will take you down. So stay in the fight. Keep doing what you do, baby. Um, as of now, I'm 29 years old. I am clean 5.5 years, and it's a good thing to be clean and to be healthy. And I should have never gotten into that stuff, and my mom should have never gotten into that stuff, and a lot of people shouldn't have gotten into that stuff. But the matter of the fact is, no one's perfect, and this world is very tough and very cruel, and we're all just trying to numb something. But it'll humble you, and I've learned, it's just not the way. If anything, just have a couple beers, smoke a little bit of green, just stay out the way. But yeah, I'm gonna be starting to do some more videos, a whole bunch of different topics. It's kind of just a little story about addiction. So here it is. Y'all take care.